win after win after win to have any hope of staying alive for the major. Will the result be wet or gold? Let's find out with this best of 7.
Well, such is the people's love for Hogan mode that we've simultaneously heard Leaf's Scottish accent, and the reason Stumpy's giggling in the background, our producer's Scottish accent. Everyone loves the Hogan mode, Stumpy, and the bros going all the way.
Aggressively Swedish. He's aggressively Swedish, our producer, and he comes in and goes, 3, 2, 1. Amazing. Yeah, Hogan mode versus Liquid is going to be the most mountainous mountain that Hogan mode could possibly try and climb. And yet they have donned their mountain climbing gear. They've got the ropes, they've got the belays, and they are trying their hardest to get up there.
It's going to be slippery as well, though, because Liquid, they are playing delicious Rocket League themselves. You know, they've had a little loss earlier, but it was Game 7 against Vitality. A couple of chances to take that series as well. Surely, if we're being serious, taking off the tinfoil hats, this must be where Hogan mode meet their demise.
But what an incredible run they've had regardless. If they do end it here, but by no means have they, but if they do end it here, then it has been a fantastic journey for them. But Liquid, this is just another step trying to increase their seeding going into the Spring Major. It becomes more and more important. The higher up you go, the theoretically easier teams you face. You miss out on facing those North American teams. You then might get one of the APAC teams instead. It all depends on where you end up finishing in Europe. But Oski onto that ceiling, trying to make sure that Liquid start as they mean to go on, get an early goal. And Atto, I like that, going for a little sidewall redirect as we've seen his teammate Acronic go for all over Twitter recently.
Speaking of being slippery when wet, if Team Liquid are to fell Hogan mode here, it will be the major position for Moist Esports. They will guarantee their slot if Hogan mode can be beaten. So there's another team out there rooting for the quote-unquote bad guys, but it might be the good guys to get the first goal. Rezi slams that one into the top corner. It was a quick save from Atto, but Hogan mode reminding us that they're no slumps themselves.
A minute and a half gone though, it's actually staying remarkably even, with Liquid taking a little while sometimes to work their way into series, but they didn't play Vitality too long ago. They had an incredibly long series versus them because of all those tech issues that unfortunately Oski was facing, but ended up lasting just over an hour in actual time length, which is a long old while, and half of it, Shogun was complaining that his bedroom was warm. So,
yeah, at least it's nice and cool here in the UK for poor old Shogi to have to deal with that. I know the Chiefs had a little overcoat on and some tea, hot tea.
Here we go.
Here we go, Stumpy, mate.
Here we go.
You've got an aircon, haven't you?
Here we go.
Because that's gonna come into play here. Because I'm gonna look like a moist Liquid fan. The way I'm gonna be sweating as this series goes on.
I am having a great time. I have got a little aircon on. It's getting cooler.
Can I show you my aircon? You want to see?
Go on. He hasn't. He got cut
production.
Away. Well, Acronic hasn't got aircon.
That's how you
People don't care about you. They care about their players. They care about Acronic. They're trying to make sure.
They care about me.
Oh,
this is my aircon. Oh, complete. Move on. Let's see Acronic.
If I didn't want to be in trouble with Psionics, I would lower my green screen and show you the box of cold air that is being thrown towards me at the moment. Absolutely. But we're seeing, yet again, more tech issues coming out. Oski saying that he had just a little bit of lag going on, saying that the server was being a little bit iffy, but he believes it's just going to be on his side. So we're going to make sure that he's all happy, sort it all out. And Oski, if you could not give us another hour-long series in this weather, that would be beautiful, mate. Because he lives just down the road from me. I could go pick him up, bring him here, he can play on this PC, and I'll cast behind him. How does that sound?
Mate, some terrible Rocket League is regularly played on your PC. At this point, I can't help but think that it may be cursed, some of the rotations that you do, my friend. I noticed earlier on as well that Growly's camera zoomed in because we could see the guitar on his wall earlier. I was hoping that he'd play us a little tune, but now you can't really see it anymore, so that's sad. Is this helpful for Brogan mode in some ways? You know, making
called them unironically Brogan mode.
I did. Oh my goodness, it's so in my mind now. Is it helpful for Bro to have a scrappier series?
I think so. I think Liquid are going to want to try and get that control as much as they can, or the Liquid style of control, where it is their chaos that they are trying to produce. But if Hogan mode are able to actually keep it scrappy and keep it really quite messy and dirty and down in the ground, then yeah, I think that absolutely benefits them, especially when you consider the fact that Liquid, they aren't a team that will scrim outside of the top 8 particularly frequently. So they won't have come up against Hogan Mode at all in scrims. They don't know what to expect. They're relying on them to be a better team than Hogan Mode is. Is that going to come back and bite them? Maybe. I mean, we see across a lot of esports that these issues can come in. We see top teams fall to lower ranked teams because they just don't know how to anticipate them. They don't know what they're actually capable of.
What will be beneficial for Team Liquid in that regard, though, is the fact that it is a best of 7. Obviously, I don't have the stats to hand, but I imagine that the top seed wins a lot more often in a BO7 than they do in a best of 5, simply because even if you mess up and throw away a couple of games, you've just got that extra buffer to play with to ensure that you can remain professional and you can keep things going the way that you can keep things going. And Team Liquid have been utterly back to their best this tournament as well. Starting off, a 3-0 win versus Food Fact Stop, then a 3-0 versus Moist Esports, then only falling to Vitality by a single game in the decider, and that brings them here against Brogan Mode.
I mean, they also versus Vitality were up 3-2 in the series, and they seemed little bit annoyed on social media, saying we really should have had that realistically. And with one miss from a Chronic, it actually falls to a great chance for Oski to score. As we do get this series back underway, let's keep it at just the one disconnect, please, Oski. That'd be incredibly kind of you. Rezi with one musty into the dunk, but not on target, so Oski can leave it towards that corner, pick up the 100, flick it over the top of Growly, but Growly is up with those Kiwi wheels. Nice and quickly. Oski and Scrub moving each other from the pitch. The old and the young, which feels weird to not have Scrub on the young side of that rather.
Yeah, old man Scrub killer. Aging every year as our Scrub. Unbelievable. We've watched him grow up as a community, and now here he is, remaking his career with Hogan Mode. And looking brilliant while doing it, really sort of upping the skill levels of Growly and Rezi as he goes. Here is Growly, using those Kiwi wheels, using them twice. Can he get thrice? Not quite that time, but he's still going. Gets the bump instead. Rezi's coming in. Where's Scrub? Oski isn't going to be involved at all. It's all Rezi.
We said that Scrappy was going to benefit Hogan Mode, and here it is yet again. Growly completely forgoing the ball, sees a Chronic and goes for him instead. Then Rezi with the slow keep behind the ball, wait for your opening, and then toe punt it home. Under 2 minutes to go, Hogan Mode, they take that lead.
Can they keep it going? It's always the question when an underdog gets the lead. They changed their playstyle, not yet. Chronic, though, gets a couple of touches. A slight bump against him. Oski up against Growly, but Growly stands firm yet again. He is looking already, Stumpy, like he's making all the correct decisions.
I mean, yeah, Growly earlier on in their series versus Monaco looked like one of the best players on that pitch too. He was, it seems like a man reborn, and Scrub Killer, he has been reborn. A fantastic play from him down that right-hand side with little boost. He gets one dunk and then immediately challenges, then go for the bump, but completely fakes out the defender.
Scrub Killer, who said in an interview on this very broadcast that he still sees himself as a player capable of challenging for world championships. If he didn't, he wouldn't still be here. He almost seemed somewhat, not embarrassed, but shy when he said it, which is a totally new side of Scrub Killer. Always had so much confidence. And I think now that's becoming an internal confidence, one he doesn't have to shout about. As he booms this ball down the side, he is taken out by Atto. Oski into the center. Team Liquid have to wake up here because Hogan Mode, they've dealt with the tech issue a lot better than Team Liquid, and they're looking the better team right now.
I mean, it's going to get frustrating as well, right? If you're Liquid, managing to get this far in a competition, and we saw no disconnects yesterday either on the Liquid stream, and then just disconnecting over and over again and just having these server issues. It's definitely going to wear on you, but a Chronic and Atto tangling up with each other. No double touch at a Psycho for a Chronic being able to come in. Atto trying to find Oski. Instead he finds Growly, not the player nor the team that he wanted to be getting on the end of that ball. 40 seconds left and Hogan Mode, they are looking to take this first game and really put the squeeze on Liquid.
Yeah, the squeeze is true. We've barely seen the ball in the orange side, but this might be the moment. Atto with a couple of flip resets. Scrub Killer coming in, trying to defend. Rezi and Growly, the ball almost goes above them. So that's a turn around here. 20 seconds left. What can Liquid conjure? Atto into the center. Rezi pops it up. There's a demo. Oski might be able to get the second touch here, but he won't be able to force the angle as Rezi comes in heroically. Now 10 seconds left. The sand dripping away in front of him. Atto passes it to a Chronic. That will be the game with that save from Scrub Killer.
Couple of saves as well. It wasn't just him, it was his teammate as well that managed to tip it onto Scrub too. 0 seconds. Hogan Mode taking the first game. And Cole, I have a question for you, my friend, my business colleague.
Oh, hi.
You're welcome. Yeah, I think it's more legally you're my colleague. I would ask you, what score did you have in this series? Great Oracle, what score did you have in this series for our prediction competition?
As in, what did I say earlier? I had, scrolling. You could have just like sent me a message. I had Hogan mode. Oh my goodness, 4-0. I'm already wrong.
Wait, you had Hogan mode 4-0?
No, Liquid 4-0 against Hogan mode, hence why I'm already wrong. But that would be one heck of a prediction, wouldn't it? If I said, oh yeah, Hogan mode, they take the quads against a destitute and depressed Team Liquid after they've dropped to Vitality. In my world, 4-3 as well.
I went 4-1. Don't want to brag. Still on. It's still on. The Liquid 4-1 is still on. If they get 4 on the drop, it's going to get a brand new server here. So large Oscar can settle his big size 19s into the boots of the car.
Size 19s? Is that what he's rocking? Is this like European 19s or British 19s?
It's Southeast Asian 19s. He has to get them specially made in a factory.
Oh, and like tailored over in one of those giant oversized helicopters.
Yeah, we have to have them taken away from the woman who lived in the shoe.
Very good. So Team Liquid, let's talk about them for a second, Stumpy, because they've already made the major. It's been clear they're making this major for a while. That does not mean they're not taking this one seriously. There's still seeding implications, and there's still the fact that they have this winning record in third regionals.
Yeah, I mean, the third regional buff, we spoke earlier about how Cash had the debuff on third regionals, and he managed to smash through that. Team Liquid, they have got the absolute buff on the third regionals. They don't want any teams to get the slam. They don't want to get the 3 in a row.
They're the anti-slammers, aren't they?
They are the anti-slammers. I'd be very intrigued to see, because the only team that I can see now getting, I think, the Grand Slam of the 3 regional events, and then the major. Would that be a Grand Slam to you?
I mean, when I say Grand Slam, I'm referring to the 3 regionals, like a regional Grand Slam, a local Grand Slam.
Yeah.
I think a full-on Grand Slam, this is a debate for First Touch or Shortcast or something. What would constitute a Grand Slam? 3 majors and worlds, that'll do it, wouldn't it? Even if you lose all the regionals.
3 majors and worlds.
I'd take that.
Oh yeah, of course you would.
Thank you.
Well, I think that's clearly not a compliment. I would say that my personal definition of a Grand Slam would be the 3 regionals.
I didn't ask, did I? Sorry.
And then...
Go on.
Sorry, I thought you said ask, like plus ratio.
What I meant was... Oh, no, I'm sorry, I didn't ask, because in my bad. The fact that you stopped, I was panicking, trying to revert, like, oh, how do I get to know what I meant? I didn't ask, I apologise. What's your definition
3
of Grand
regionals,
Slam,
plus major, and then I'd say Super Slam is then all majors plus worlds.
God, no
team will ever do that.
It may happen. I mean,
no team will ever do that.
Theoretically could. You would need whoever is after Zen, whoever out-Zen Zen in 2 years, like this person's changing Rocket League when everyone's as good as Zen, right? If 3 of them pop up at the same time, they all turn 15 at the same time, right? Join the same team.
Triplets.
And start off well. The 3 triplets.
Yeah, they're going to be the triplets.
That's what you need. You need some Middle Eastern triplets in MENA, and they will take it.
I also would like for them just to be called 1, 2, and 3. Like, those are their names. They play Rocket League. That's all they do.
Let's get a bit of Dr. Zeusy.
Yeah, there's nothing else there. It's just they're 1, 2, and 3, and they play Rocket League. That is everything. We're just currently in a test lobby as well, making sure that all players are happy and all good. We're just getting large Oscar, making sure that he is all good and happy as well. Otherwise, if we're looking at the seeding that we spoke about earlier on in this series, Liquid at best can be number 2 seed, but even winning this series, they would still remain as the 4th seed. They need a few more results to be going their way, including, seeing Carmine go down, and also with BDS ahead of them, it would then also need them to be going down too. Moist are still looking at this series and biting their fingernails. They're probably down to the bone at this point with the number of disconnects that we've been having, where I feel that they need to be looking at Liquid and just be putting all of their prayers and their hopes on these guys. Because if you get a Liquid win, you are through to the major. And not having that in your hands, Cole, is... I would pretty prefer that if I was a competitor. But because it's just...
You'd rather just sit and watch and hope, would you?
It's like whenever I've played like Twitch Rivals, I'd rather sit out. I don't actually want to play. I'd rather just do the minimum that I need to and then still get the full marks.
I see. That's why you signed a business agreement with Cool Cole 93 back in the day. Suddenly it all makes perfect sense.
Exactly.
I think the difference between these guys and you and me, admittedly, is that they are competitors and they all feel, they can be the best in the world. The pitch needs them or else they don't have a chance. That's probably what separates us.
Yeah, whereas I'm just thinking I'd rather be on the bench keeping it warm, and then if I get a medal, then fair play. I'm still very happy with that.
You'll tell your grandkids, I earned this medal, and only you will know all you did was sit there on the side of Forbidden Temple in one of the beautiful seats, one of the temples, and just watch.
I'd like to come in the 94th minute and still get the trophy. I'd like to do the lift.
We are beginning game 2, it seems. The Team Liquid players are happy. They've reset whatever needs to be reset. They've adjusted their chairs.
The routers have been unplugged and replugged.
I bet they've spammed R3 to look behind them so many times, or triangle to look at ball cam and turn it off and on again so many times. And now here we are, Stumpy, game 2.
Game 2, and it's a Hogan mode lead, bear in mind. 1-0 in the series to the boys that want to adorn themselves in gold. Atto without a second touch, can't quite touch it down towards Oski. The man who I think a lot of eyes are going to be on, because with these disconnects, yes, we can name about them as much as we want, they will affect a player, because you'll be thinking in the back of your head, like, oh, I just want to play. I just want to be able to play the best game that I can, especially in the third regional, where they were playing the best Rocket League we've seen from them for a little while. 1-2 shot, back behind, and a growly goal line wonder.
What composure as well, just to not pre-jump at that one, not to dodge at it after getting the save, just to keep on going, stay behind that ball, get the low block, and send it along its merry little way. The game remains 0-0. Hogan Mode still putting in an amazing performance so far against Team Liquid. Scrubkiller's first touch is flawless, and he follows it up. Gets the flip reset. Scrubkiller, whom Ixo said was the toughest player to play against to this day.
I find that so intriguing that he's managed to stay in the zeitgeist of players at least. A Chronic with that one touchdown for that second, but Scrub frustratingly on the backboard. We know what Scrub is like in defense. Has been historically the best defender in the world. Nearly a beautiful redirect coming out from Rezi.
Yeah, Rezi fancied that one. The way he jumped, he was thinking he'd get that redirect. Not quite to be. I thought he'd nailed it. Near pixels out. Still, it's 0-0. Rezi again into the centre. Growly's following up. Growly beats that. So Rezi's touched a little bit wide. Wants to get that one more. Drifting over the top of his Octane. Rather than redirecting, but the attack continues. Growly just takes the pace off. Scrub's coming in. Is anyone following up Scrub Killer? It's got to be Rezi. It's got to be soon. Whilst that attack's going to end. Hogan Mode looks so dangerous, Stump.
They also, and I'm going to say this is an absolute compliment, they look scrappy. They look like they're making do with a few of these touches, but Liquid just don't know how to deal with them. We said that's how Hogan Mode were going to be able to work into this series. They've had some brilliant chances of redirect, but they haven't necessarily landed all of them, but that has still scuppered the entire defense of Liquid.
Growly stays low as a Chronic charges them down. All three Liquid players very deep in the Hogan Mode half. They have to send themselves back. He's also going to get closed down by Rezi, who was already up and again nearly got that redirect. That one is brewing for Hogan Mode. Team Liquid are leaving their walls pretty clear right now, and Hogan Mode are targeting them.
With one touchdown, gets removed from the pitch for his troubles. Atto getting rid of him. Scrub on that goal. I'm not credited with the save, which I do think is a little bit harsh. So now up for one, the second, the third, the dunk is successful with Scrub Killers there. Atto is, however, also there. 1-0, Liquid take the lead.
Atto had enough. He blocks his way through, and when he gets that little backflip, he got full power on it. Nothing floating, nothing rolling. Smash that ball in from near range and give Team Liquid the lead. But to be fair, on the balance of play, they do deserve in game number 2. Hogan might have had their chances, but Team Liquid have certainly had more of the pressure. Double up here, clean win from a Chronic. Atto's coming in. Atto gets the flip resets. A Chronic actually in the end.
Demo.
But just before the killer blow, there's a demo, and now down the other end, Hogan Mode, they try and do the same, and they manage it.
Both of them linked up, like twins holding hands out their car windows. Scrub and Growly working down the pitch. The 1, the 2, the dunk into the net. What an equalizer.
Holding hands out your car window is not recommended.
True. I would like to do that with you, though, Carl. I've got very long arms, I can reach across the passenger seat. Just saying.
And Rezi goes for the kickoff, and Growly puts it to the corner. Oski clears it long. Scrub Killer's just going to wait for this ball, and Growly's going to spawn in front of him. Oh no, an absolute disaster close! And Rezi sweeps up. That was the worst spawn you can possibly have.
And the Chronic, though, in the midfield, wanting to make sure that they're not going to be having too many problems from that one issue that they've seen. 60 boost, the double touch just coming in above the crossbar. No chance for them here. Oski trying to go central. These blocks from Hogan Mode and these saves have been monumental.
Great touch there. Growly keeps it going. Oski, I think, had a feeling he was putting that one into a pass, but it turned out to be a pass to himself. All he can do is keep the attack alive for as long as possible. Atto onto the back wall. Growly's there. Atto's following this one up. You know, it's a save there from Scrub Killer, who sacrifices his car for his troubles. Spawns again in that complicated back left corner. Spawning has not been on Hogan Mode's side so far. Thankfully for Scrub, the ball landed for him and he can get it away.
Good fate from Acronics trying to find Atto, but instead of Scrub, who was there, read that the fate was going to be coming in. But if you're seeing one player that you're scared of getting this slowed will redirect, considering what we've seen on social media, it's going to be Acronic. He has been scoring some worldies and got a couple yesterday as well, even just like the chances. And the entire team was going for them, just as the Acronic tries to go for that final defender in Scrub Killer. Oski shoots on target. It's a bobbly shot. It's a bobbly goal, but they all count for one.
Yeah, this one will mean just as much for Team Liquid as any other Scrub Killers challenge. Couldn't quite get the follow-up, and Oski did what needed to be done just to bounce the ball over Growly. It was actually quite quite a clever finish for what wasn't quite as easy a chance as it looked. That's what I was trying to say there. And what it does is it puts Team Liquid 2-1 up with 40 seconds left. Hogan Mode, the impetus goes back on them.
Good clear from Oski, but still only finds Scrub Killer, and Growly was there to shoot it as well. Hogan Mode getting more and more dangerous with every chance that they seem to have, at least. You know, they're starting to get on the end of these passes that they want to be sending to each other. A good interception there from Acronic. Sees then onto the backboard for Atto. Oski jumps. The low shot. The net is open, and Growly is there. It's 2-2 with 14 left.
Is that a chance? It's much more than a chance. Team Liquid have been completely taken out of the equation. As Rezi put that one high, he couldn't quite lean back enough to put it in himself, but thankfully for him, Growly was alert, and Hogan Mode have their equalizer.
14 seconds, absolutely vital. Seeing how Liquid can deal with the kickoff. It does manage to bounce their way. Acronic doesn't decide to go long with that. Instead keeps it nice and close to the backboard. Growly waiting and lurking. No second chance, but Oski is there to shoot. Scrub Killer back flips it into the corner. Overtime. Game 2. Hogan Mode with that one game advantage.
Hogan Mode talk about enjoying themselves on the pitch. I don't think Growly appreciated or enjoyed that 0-second moment. Scrub Killer, though, might enjoy this one. Rezi puts it up for Growly. I think that was meant to be a first touch for himself, but it worked out beautifully for a pass into the centre. And fun little fact, this is the first overtime of the day, after about 18 games and a 4-hour series earlier.
It's been like a 30-hour day so far. It's the 24th game where we've had one overtime. Welcome, everybody. This is lovely. I'm happy that you all managed to make it. I hope that the invites found you well and the RSVP very much in time.
Growly was in time to get a touch there as Atto tries to get it past him. Atto read the second touch well. Scrub's a little bit isolated. Atto's coming in, but it's pushed to the side. Scrub Killer's defending has been fantastic this game, can I just say. So many times he's been left 2v1, and he's dealt with them brilliantly each one.
Approaching a minute and Acronic in the midfield. Double taps here, but look at the patience from Rezi. Just waits. Tries to find that moment to strike and does so brilliantly. Growly with low boost. He's Scrub in the middle. Acronic waits scarily. Now yet more 50s. This has been a little bit of a chess match coming into the overtime.
Ooh, Rezi, what a touch and a flick over the top. Oski, as far as Acronic was concerned, thankfully was back. And then Acronic on his way out gets a decent touch into the centre as well, but that's better from Growly. Teeing up Rezi, there's some impetus to the attack, this attack. Rezi gets the flip reset, then he gets the dunk. Scrub gets where does he put the ball? Not quite in the back of the net, because there was large Oscar.
Oh my word, as Growly reset as well. Atto now wants to find another, but again, the patience. A little bit of scrappiness in the end. See when you saw Scrub Killer find his way in, but Rezi waits grounded time and time again and doesn't let Liquid just air dribble over the top. He'll wait on the ground. You've only got limited boost, lads.
First overtime of the day is proving to be a pretty decent one, as both these teams are having chances and showing flashes of potential brilliance, but so far the defending has been good enough to keep them all out. Oski here can't get past Growly again. His touch is clean. His 50-50 is good. Growly another one. Someone needs to follow this from Hogan Mode. This is way too much time and space for Acronic. He can do anything with it until Rezi closes him down, but for my liking, Stumpy, Liquid getting a bit too many clean touches. It will eventually fall to a chance for Atto, and he will not miss.
And basically no reaction from Liquid on that goal on their cameras. It's an overtime, the first one of the day. They get a goal, they get the game in the series, and yet Acronic's just stoic. Just knows, this is what we do. This is what we do.
I mean, it's been a long day for Team Liquid. It's been a long day for all of these players. Maybe Acronic is dare I say, a little bit frustrated with the fact that his teammate is having some technical issues. You know, it's nobody's fault, but it can't be ignored the fact that that's an annoying thing to happen, especially when, as you mentioned, Stumpy, Acronic was saying yesterday, they're pretty much close to peaking. So if that's being somewhat stolen away from Team Liquid, this is where you really get a good look at their mentality. How can they deal with having that stolen away from them?
A 27-shot thriller in that game as well. 14 for Liquid, 13 on the side of Hogan mode. And just the aggression seems to be what is in play between these two teams. Hogan mode, I think the word for them, as I think you mentioned it before, was just scrappy. They are scrappy. They are happy to be filthy little piglets that get down in the dirt, and they know that that is where they do their best work. Go on, try and carry that one on.
Team Liquid, though, will hope to farm on their opponents as those little piglets scrap in the dirt, and they will make their way forward on in this bracket. Team Liquid, do they just continue now they've got the upper hand, they've got their game? Do they go on and sweep this series? Not sweep, but, you know, from here.
I think, realistically, Liquid will be thinking, we are the better team, lads. Credit was saying on the desk, like, obviously they are the better team. They're, like, one of the best teams in the world right now. Hogan mode didn't make the last regional. The best they've done is top 6. Like, they are a very good team, but they aren't at Liquid's level. And Liquid, I think, will need to try and play to that as well. Rezi, though, with one, wants to try and remind everybody that despite the fact that Liquid are one of the best teams in the world, he can do anything.
There is nothing wrong with a good, clean, smash down into the ground double, and that is exactly what Rezi has given us there, to give Hogan mode the lead early on in Game 3.
That is utter nastiness. That could only be summoned by a piglet in mud. That was unbelievable, the first touch. And he comes up for the double as well. Atto being called into action on the goal line with Oscar. We'll try and catch up as well with the 2v1. The Scrub Killer. Acronic flicks it, top bins. A lovely turn into the backflip. A lot of unanticipated power, and the touch from Rezi sets him up.
Yeah, the Farmers did their best to pen Hogan mode in, and that's exactly what happened from that kickoff. There was actually a pretty ill-advised double touch there as well from the Hogan mode man, getting a redirect towards his own goal, diverting it with an angle. Made it almost impossible to defend, but this might be two. Scrub Killer's up, wants to get past Oski, can't do it, and Growly turns it down.
Clever.
Atto could dribble his way forward via Acronic. Team Liquid moving forward as a trio. Hogan mode, how's your defense? Not good enough, because Team Liquid, they always pick that perfect pass.
This starts to feel as well like Team Liquid, they figure out, okay, we just need to have our space and then immediately strike. When we can, just go for it. And we see these waterfalls begin. We see the barrels start to tumble down the hill as Liquid get a goal, then they get a goal, then they get another goal, another. They love to make sure that they are dominant when they get a little bit of a lead.
That was a stunning touch there for the pass. It didn't quite work out into a goal, but Acronic might be able to make up for that right now until Rezi on the backboard. I'd say now defensively for Hogan mode. He is the one who's doing the most work. He's doing most of the chasing, but it's never enough. When Oski gets the ball, Oski decides what's going to happen next.
God, good lord. Good lord. Oh, the turnaround on that, giving me whiplash from the angle that he managed to secure. The third goal for Liquid is a beauty. And Oski, despite the internet / router / game issues, whatever it is he's been having today, he is not letting them get to him. And both players that have scored, on Team Liquid have got 100% on their shooting percentage. 2 shots, 2 goals for Oski, 1 shot, 1 goal for Acronic.
Not too bad. You can't ask for much more than that when your team is striking forwards. Here comes Scrub Killer trying to match that. It's met by Acronic, who's someone who's had to do a lot of defensive work for Team Liquid, especially back in the early days when Oski and Atto just did not fancy giving up on any play or the ball. Poor Acronic that was always left back. Could have moved on from those days now, and we see this beautiful trio of attack. Oski can't quite put the pass in towards the net. Now Atto's going up against Rezi. Rezi, he's looking like the one most dangerous to me if he can get some clear time on the ball like right now.
Yeah, with a couple of chances, I think, when they haven't gone his way, it's not seemed to affect him a huge amount. A lovely touch from Scrub there, and a shot from Growler just goes above the crossbar. Now Rezi, the star player, trying to pick it up on the left, but with literally a single boost. He can actually get it round to that final player, and nearly sets him up. Atto, though, manages to crawl up that back wall. And the left-hand side sees Acronic pushing down the pitch with 1 touch, the second in the corner. Oski shies away from it, Growling out of absolutely nowhere. Up for 1, but nothing able to apparate just yet for Hogan mode.
Scrubkiller had to be aware there because both of his teammates were charging forwards with nothing in their eye but the net. Didn't care about defending for about 30 seconds. They might come back to bite them now. Oski with more clear touches. How is he doing this every single time? Hogan Mode can't deal with him.
Oski, with a seemingly wrong touch too, lands, immediately goes into that bicycle kick. Rezi forced into a backflip, and Chronic is just there to read it in case it goes wrong. The contingency plans coming out for Liquid, paying dividends halfway through the game. 4 goals for Liquid, beginning to romp home with this one.
Here comes Rezi though. Can he get one back quickly for Hogan Mode? Not quite. And Atto's clearance goes all the way into the corner. Liquid starting to have some fun. Maybe those frustrations being shaken away as they almost get a 5th. You get the feeling, Stumpy, that 5th will not be too long coming unless Hogan Mode can seriously shake themselves up.
The offense now proving itself incredible on the side of Liquid. But great saves from Scrub. Just keep it at just 4. They are messing up. They are messing around. They are being silly. They are goofing. They are gaffing. And they are scoring 5.
Oski's being unleashed. Someone's restarted the internet. You know, whoever else is in the house has got off Netflix, and suddenly he is able to just dribble past everyone. Internet issues no longer a problem. He looks like he's loving life right now.
Scrubkiller in chat just saying, nice shot. Both thanks from Atto and Oski. I'm sure he was talking to Oski there. Atto, but it's fine. You're involved. It's like when we play and someone says like, hi Cole, and we just put like, okay. Or like, hi Stumpy, and you put, okay.
It's the only time I get jealous of you, when playing Rocket League and someone says hi to you and not me. I'm like, well, you know.
Me, you and Dazman played a little bit of Rocket League earlier, and someone said Stumpy love heart, and you and Daz just both put, okay.
But then, over in North American servers, someone said, Daz, can I get a sign? And you and I said,
okay. It was lovely.
No one said hi to me.
Cole will get his day there. If you see Cole in rank, just give him a hi. If you're like floating around like the Plat 2 level, be sure to give him a wave.
Scrubkiller wants to bundle his way forward. But sadly for him, his opponents are not at the Plat 2 level, and they were able to deal with that rolling dribble Scrubkiller conjured up. Well, he's following this one. 58 seconds left. Bit of a dead game. Dead moment in the series for now. And Hogan Mode, just with some thoughts to be had. This is surely clear tactical timeout moments.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, if you lose 2, you take the tacky T. Like, I think you just have to at that point. And we should stress that although this doesn't mean anything necessarily for Liquid themselves, it does mean that if they win, Moist make major. That is what is on the line. So I don't know if the Moist Critical stream is watching, but there you go, boys. If Liquid win, or right now you're Liquid fans, if they win, you are going to the major. Hogan Mode, though, they are trying to, if they want to get to the major, they need to win the entire event. So this is just one of many, many paving stones on their way. Lovely.
But Stumpy Gobbert's Goblin. Is this game over? There were 4 goals in it, now there are 2. Growly's styling, Rezi's there. 2 goals, 32 seconds. We almost had a late comeback yesterday with Solary against, I think it was PSG Tundra. Didn't quite happen. They had 2 goals, but not the third, but they had 3 seconds for. 2 goals needed. Come on, that's a good kickoff. Follow it up, Rezi. Here we go. The world believes. Everyone wants to see this go to an overtime. I've got a feeling Team Liquid are going to game management.
Or Liquid do.
Oh, they sort of do. Surely.
I mean, there's a good chance
against
there.
the
As Brownie tried to pass it across, isn't able to actually get anything from it. And the final 15 is going to tantalizingly tick down. Seconds move away from Hogan Mode and their chances. There's 5 seconds left. It's not going to be going in. Liquid do manage to secure it with a cheeky touch back as well, of course. You've got to make it a little bit scary. Team Liquid 2-1 up in this series.
Always frustrating when you're so close to being able to get that goal and it's just yanked away from you at the very last second. But Hogan Mode did get themselves some of that all-important momentum as this series goes onwards. They're 2-1 down now in it overall. But they just reminded Team Liquid, and they just reminded all of us, and just reminded you and me, Stumpy, that there's a battle going on here. There is a matchup. There is competition between Hogan Mode and Team Liquid, and Hogan Mode are more than capable of scoring goals against TL.
Yeah, 100%. Hogan Mode are here for a reason. They've got to a top 6 previously for a reason. Yes, as I said on the pre-show, little bit of a whoopsie when they didn't quite make the second regional, and it would have been a lot better for them if they did make that second regional, because my word would this be a lot easier, but instead they are now trying to go that hard way round. And on Utopia, we're going to be seeing Liquid attempt to push themselves onto series point in this best of 7.
Team Liquid, all they have to do is harness some of the momentum that they had in that last game, and they should be absolutely fine in this game and in this series. But what Hogan Mode may be lacking mechanical skill compared to Team Liquid, they more than make up for in fight, in desperation, in that need to prove themselves to all of us watching and really to themselves as well. I want to go for Bump Stumpy. I want to go for demos. I want to be ugly little piglets. And they've also changed their car.
A Mustang, a Joyo-esque Mustang. Is that one of the first players to use it? Since, apart from Joyo, I guess that's the farmyard theme with a Mustang, so that's quite nice.
I'm up for the meta shift. I've had enough of these boring old Fennecs, mate. Let's make it a Mustang main.
A Mustang main is fun, and Scrub Killer, passing that central, finds Rezi with that grotesquely gigantic spoiler on the back of the Mustang. 30 seconds gone, 1 goal Hogan.
Well, here's a grotesquely gigantic spoiler for all of you. This one goes to 7 if Hogan Mode keep playing like this. The perfect start that they needed on Utopia to get themselves back in this series. There's only 1 game in it. The best of 7 is a long old thing. Let's see if they can keep it going. Here's Scrub following up with the Fennec. Nato touches it, goes to the ceiling, tries to pinch it back. I honestly had a feeling that one was going to pinch all the way into the top corner. I don't know why, it just felt right. Hogan Mode disagreed. And thankfully for them, it remains 1-0.
A lot of pressure from Hogan Mode coming into this. Nearly the gorgeous double from Rezi. Doesn't quite make it, unfortunately for them. And no timeout, bear in mind, called for Hogan Mode. We were saying that maybe they should. I always like it after 2. I say that very frequently. But yeah, I always like it after 2. Because if you lose this one and you go down to 3, you need to then bring back 3 games in a row.
What's even worse is trying to use it if you lose the game after that when you're 4-1 down. That's a total waste of time.
Because the admins just don't respond anymore because the series is over.
They've left. Yeah,
they've gone home. Over neck kebab.
Oski tries to get it over the top of Scrub Killer, but Scrub Killer does very well indeed. To not only get the touch, also to get the follow-up, and to send it to the left, but there's a miss there from Growly. He needs Rezi to help him out. Rezi does just about. Oski was the danger man for about 3.5 minutes in this last game. So far here on Utopia, they've kept him quiet, and that's the main difference. Now he's a little bit stuck. They're all being faked out. Scrub Killer, he shoots it high, he follows it up.
Oh my word,
Can he get the fifth touch in? Growly's there, he gets it down. Rezi's rotating outwards. Growly and Scrub Killer, both of them in each other's way again. Is anyone gonna just push this ball in the back of the net? No, they're not. They might even get countered. Here's a Chronic, but it's saved to the corner.
Oh my word, but the word was keep missing it, boys. Rezi with 1 flick, he has a chance, but Oski able to get that save away under 3 minutes remaining. A Chronic sends it long in the midfield, caught by Growly on the pre-jump. 1 reset, nearly over the top. Oski is there to block with Rezi now up high with another reset on target again. Hogan Mode are pushing.
Growly, he slows things down just for a second. Atto tries to get it into the center, and that's where it goes. Here's Rezi with the Mustang. He fakes it out. Growly's there. Maybe could have passed towards Scrub Killer, who was the 3rd man, was encroaching. Would have been a pretty risky play, but that's the way Hogan Mode like to play the game. Here's Rezi. He's missed it again. Now it's Growly's turn to decide when to come in. He just touches that ball down to a Chronic, and a Chronic gets a touch away as well. Now here is a Chronic countering down the right wing. Rezi's there. Oski's in front of him. Rezi wants to get 1 more touch, but can't do it. A Chronic turn here, he can. This is a great counter-attacking opportunity for Team Liquid. Atto, here he is, into the corner, and Liquid show Hogan Mode how to shoot the ball.
The 1, the 2, the 3, everybody involved on Liquid there. A Chronic to Oski, Atto snipes bottom right corner. Scrub intelligently trying to go for that in and out save. But when you shoot low on them, it becomes infinitely harder to save it away. Liquid, after all of the pressure that Hogan Mode were pushing on their side, managed to steal 1 away.
Liquid will feel utterly relieved right now, but Hogan Mode have to not let their heads drop. Sure, they should have scored about 3 goals in that passenger play. They got none. And they get 1 now. Rezi comes in up against Growly. Good communications from them. Scrub Killer up against Atto. Falls to Oski. Rezi's in there against Oski. Oski's done some more good work, not quite mechanically, but with the 50-50 game and the decision-making and the midfield presence. Is Atto nipping in? Growly has to avoid the bump and does. I'm glad they're composed because I wasn't. I'm petrified right now. Liquid have to start again.
Oh, that was floating horrifyingly in front of the Hogan Mode net for a little while. Oski though with 1 chance of the shot. With the Chronic. Clear it away with, Rezi quite a weak shot, but he also wasn't anticipating the ball to even find its way to his nose, I don't imagine. A Chronic with 1 back into the middle. Yeah, just a little bit of miscommunication.
And set the gamble on that touch from, I think it was Atto, being as poor as it was. He hadn't quite done that, so when it was the case, didn't know what to do. 1 minute left
Hogan Mode trying to keep this series equal, trying to make sure they still have a sliver of hope of making it to the Major and indeed Worlds. The fairy tale ending. Moist fans watching on, hoping Liquid don't actually do this to them. As the ball falls to Growly, Rezi's pre-jumping, he's in the sky, he's in the air, he finds Growly again. Growly goes high this time. Is anyone following up from Hogan Mode? No, Scrub Killer waited, and they'll go again. Oh, but this is the one! It's the bump from Rezi, and that is 2-1.
I love that Rezi just hung around to be a nuisance. Oski just gets one touch over, and Scrub, just with giga-brain stylings, finds Growly. Rezi bumps out the defender. Great pushing from Hogan Mode to continue on that play where most would have thought it was over, then they were going to transition onto defense. What a move from them. 30 seconds remaining. Hogan Mode 2-1 up in this game.
That's a great sort of look into the different players' psyche. Scrub Killer staying back, Rezi staying forward. His Liquid, though, they'll carry on pushing forward for the next 20 seconds, that's for sure. Hogan Mode have to deal with exactly that. Scrub Killer up against Atto, puts it to the side. Chronic's coming in. Does he have a pass or the fake? It's actually the fake. And there was a steal as well. Oski just slow rolls it down, needs the bump to help him out. Doesn't happen this time. Atto, one more chance perhaps, but a huge clearance comes in. Maybe guaranteeing Hogan Mode this game, especially as Rezi completes the job, and it does go to 2 games each.
2-all. 2-all.
2-all.
Hogan Mode.
2-all.
This is Liquid in our lower bracket quarterfinals. And Team Liquid, they blink first. The timeout has been called, and it's time for Expa to let his team know how to get rid of the Golden Menace.
At 2-all, TL are the ones that say that we need that little tea break, because I don't think they expected Hogan Mode to have this extra gear to themselves.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think that Liquid have been... They've been shaken. I think they've been shaken by a few of the tech issues. They've been shaken by the fact that, okay, Vitality, we were so close, we were 3-2 up. I can't believe that. And now we have to play Hogan Mode. Okay, well, they're going to be... Oh, they're not as easy as we thought, right?
Yeah.
Okay, boys, well, we've lost one. We've lost another one. Interesting. Liquid are going to need to respect Hogan Mode a lot more, I think. The fact that they were messing around a little bit and they conceded 2 goals from it previously is somewhat telling.
I think as well, we have to remember that for Hogan Mode, I mean, we're talking about this fairy tale run to the Major and fairy tale run to Worlds, right? But realistically, what they're probably doing is playing for next season, playing for their careers, playing for any potential orgs to want to sign them. Proving themselves in series like this against the very best of EU is their best way of doing it. Team Liquid, they need to deal with the fact that Hogan Mode are going to have grand finals between here and potentially the grand final. Every series is one for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hogan Mode are absolutely stepping up to that plate. They haven't let this opportunity fall by the wayside. They know that they messed up having that second regional be a complete flop. They are pushing, they are trying, and they are thriving under the pressure that they have found themselves under. Team Liquid unable to deal with it, but Hogan Mode are like a cornered Wolverine, and they are swiping.
Scrub's loving it as well. Look at him, look at that smile on his face. Look at that
Earlier
beam on his face. Yeah, I know, I don't think the viewers saw that. We saw that in our sort of next up camera thing, where Scrub Killer was doing his, flexing to the camera. Feeling refreshed, feeling chill. And that's what you want from Scrub Killer. You want him to be that cheeky chappy, because it had seemed like he'd lost that in his Rocket League. It seemed that he'd sort of resigned himself to becoming this defensive third player, if you go back to his Dignitas days and even after that. So it's good to see him flourishing with these 2 young teammates, dragging them to their best and giving Team Liquid Stumpy Goblin a good old game of Rocket League.
I think Liquid would rather it be a good and easy game of Rocket League when it comes down to seeing what Hogan Mode can put forward. And here we are on Deadeye Canyon, my favourite map at the moment. It is absolutely beautiful. 15 seconds gone, and it is starting to be that pressure for Liquid after that timeout that needs to have been called at the perfect time. You get just the one in these best of 7s. Rezi continues on that play. Couldn't quite get anything from it, and Oski with a pinch to the corner. Mechanics are becoming more and more abundant through this series.
Yeah, but Team Liquid are more than happy to have a mechanical-based shootout. If they can drag Hogan Mode into something like that, they'll be more than pleased and back themselves. But Scrub Killer just prods it over the top of Oski. You don't need all the mechanics in the world when a simple flick does the trick.
That's all he took. He took the one, completely messed Oski up, catches it brilliantly, and the precision of a surgeon sees that first goal fall the way yet again to Hogan Mode.
Team Liquid, now it's your turn to step right up and show what you're capable of, because Hogan Mode, yet again, are all over you. Here's Growly once more. It's read by the defending. I mean, it's not clean from Team Liquid. When they get these touches, you're not getting the sense that they're putting the ball somewhere where their teammates want it. It's desperation.
It's a minute gone and trying to be seeing these opportunities start to flourish, we would hope, on the side of Team Liquid. Not had too many chances so far. And I think they'll be begrudging themselves that a little bit. Atto, sensible towards Acronic, but with not enough speed and pace. His bump won't go anywhere. Scrub with nothing in the tank, and so gets challenged by Oski, who I'm sure is going to be keeping a little bit of a closer eye on Scrub at this point too, considering how easily he beat him out before.
Yeah, sure. And there's also ego to talk about as well, especially when you know Scrub Killer will, I'm sure, send you a little message next time you're playing ranked against each other. You can't let him get away with doing that to you too often. To go head-to-head and toe-to-toe. Growly is making one risk too many for my liking. Oski's coming in as Scrub Killer bails his teammate out. Acronic though keeps the attack going. Scrub Killer has been bypassed. Resi almost has as well. But they're just sending it away, and they're surviving Hogan Mode every time Liquid look like they're dangerous.
It's triple commit though for one boost. Liquid have found themselves, they were low, now they've got about 300 between them, doing a lot better. But the positioning was pretty dire for about 5 seconds or so. Oski into that corner, gets caught out by Scrub. We approach halftime in this game, and Growly beating out Atto to that ball with 30 boost, and the corner stolen. Not a chance, unfortunately, for Hogan Mode to be able to be pushing as hard as they would like.
Scrub finds himself all alone in the ceiling. Resi's following it up. Will he get the bump on Atto? Almost. Atto just got a chunk of that ball that was all that was needed. But again, the clearance goes straight to a Hogan Mode player. The pressure that they're keeping is astounding right now. Chronic, though, he darts the pass towards Oski. Growly's a little bit boostless. It's all a bit starved now for Hogan Mode. Team Liquid have done incredibly to steady the ship, Stumpy. A professional performance, but they remain 1-0 down.
This is after a Team Liquid timeout as well, bear in mind. And Hogan Mode have scored. Gone.
Hogan Mode still have their timeout too.
Yes, very true, very true. And Hogan Mode has scored first in every game apart from the second one where Liquid ended up winning it regardless. They have been that first striker every time that it has really mattered for them. But who matters who scores first when Acronic has scored most recently? What a touch from the side, backboard found, round behind Resi, darted central.
Acronic, the man who came to prominence on a team called God Smiller's team. And now here he is with Team Liquid, alongside Atto and Oski. No longer is he the mechanical player. At times he's the least mechanical of the three of them, but he's more than capable of bulleting in those double touches against Liquid parity that they so desperately craved. Acronic, here he is again, but he's beaten by Growly. Oski's flying in. Oski could get the second touch here. He almost does. Scrub Killer reads it, gets moved to the back row, and it's the return to the lead for Hogan Mode.
An absolute sling downfield. Oski doesn't get that second touch. Scrub with a gorgeous half volley. Doesn't touch the ground, doesn't touch the ceiling. It cuts through the air, and a knife through the heart of Liquid. The second goal found. Hogan Mode, the lead again.
If Hogan Mode could see this one away, it gets very, very real. But how's this ball bouncing? It's okay for Growly so far. Has to get the second touch as well. Acronic was almost there. Oski is waiting for this ball to drop. Knows he can do absolutely anything with it, but not if he's bumped out the way. Raises off that corner wall. Atto does the same wall with the ball. Acronic now up against Growly. This is real serious territory, Stumpy. If Hogan Mode can win this one, they go within one of taking the series.
Versus Liquid, one of the best teams in the world right now that Moist are pulling for. Acronic shoots the bottom corner, clinical again, Liquid draw.
Well done, Team Liquid. So easy to get overawed in situations like this, but Oski with that massively aggressive half rotation, and then Acronic steering the ball home off the goalpost, does bring Team Liquid back. Next goal in this game, and next goal in this series of the utmost importance.
Acronic goes along with one, but cleared out by Scrub Killer, who has had the game of a lifetime in this one. Maybe not a game of a lifetime for Scrub Killer, seeing as he has won Worlds, but the game
his second goal was pretty good.
Yeah, the game of the year, let's say, for him, because he has been performing to a level that is reminiscent of what we've seen of him historically. With 45 seconds left, and Team Liquid, they want one just to shut down any momentum that Hogan Mode think that they are garnering.
Acronic up against Resi. Resi just pumps it forward. Oski, what are you going to do? You got to beat Resi here. You haven't. Growly's coming in. Growly, with the slowest finish of the season, gently rolls it home.
24 miles an hour. 24 moments of just pain to see that ball roll across the line, thinking, I could have touched that. Gosh, that's slow. My word, that really is slow. Still rolling. Not quite in yet. Oh, there it is. It's in finally. Growly, what a shot from him, managing to slow roll that of defense. And the 30-second mark has been and gone. Liquid, they are chasing 1 goal.
Woski took that one a little bit too heavily across, and Scrub Killer was there, sweeping up yet again and getting the perfect challenge against Atto. Rezi's on it. He wants to get the flip reset, then he wants the dunk. Not able to get either. Hogan mode still on the attack with 10 seconds left. Atto's just chasing Growly. It's cruel, but Growly manages to escape. He uses those Kiwi wheels to wiggle his way out of a tricky situation. The ball goes to Scrub Killer. Surely this one's going to end in Hogan mode's favor. Atto up against Rezi. A chronic though, Stumpy. He can keep it up.
1 to the 2. Scrub's already up early as well. He's missed. Rezi to clear it to the side. The saviour for Hogan mode. 3-2 in the series. Series point for the Liquid boys. Moist, you are not going to land yet.
My goodness, that was terrifying. Hogan mode did everything they could to hold on right there.
Wait.
And
Wait, what?
You say it, mate. You say it. Because we're both flabbergasted right now.
Hogan mode have called a timeout.
Has this ever happened at least in EU and RLCS?
Hogan mode have just called a timeout.
Oh my
after
goodness.
winning a game versus Liquid and going to series point. People must be able to hear how much I'm smiling right now.
Yeah, I can.
Why?
No, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why. Winner's tilt. A theory that you and I have talked about a lot, when the team that's the underdog starts to actually believe, oh my goodness, we might do this, and then they play more defensively or they make mistakes, etc., etc. They're trying to alleviate that. Secondly, it's the fact that the last 12 seconds in that was utterly terrifying, and they're worried that Team Liquid, are going to build on that momentum. Thirdly, because Scrub Killer's gone to get a glass of water or something, apparently. 3 good reasons to have taken a tactical timeout.
This is brilliant. I'm so happy. This is brilliant. Just the fact, this is so Hogan mode. This is so Hogan mode. Just be like, right, lads, we just won a game. Do you just call a timeout because funny? Because it's just a bit funny.
Do you reckon that's the 4th reason? The main one of all? Just because it's... Do you reckon it's trolly? Do you reckon there's any part of it that's trolly?
Yeah.
I've given 3 genuine reasons of how it could be not trolly.
I think there are genuine reasons. I do agree. But I think the 4th reason, most important reason, is a bit funny. Scrub's saying stinky. I don't know why he just went stinky. I don't know what just went on. That was weird.
I think he just thinks of things and does them when he's on camera, doesn't he?
This is the first time in Europe that we have seen a timeout after a game win. And previously it has been done in another region. Even our statisticians, just another region, one of them. There's a few others. Cheers, Direct. And apparently they said it was done just to try and tilt their opponent. Just try and do anything. You may as well. I think it's brilliant. Chronic's on his phone. Mate, the game's about to start.
No,
Get
fair
off
play,
your
Chronic.
phone.
No, this is brilliance from a Chronic as well. No, he's trying to not be fazed by it all, Stumpy. I'm
fuming.
Fully on that side. Chill. Take yourself away from the situation. Look at your phone, refresh any social media you please, and then when it's time, you go back and you yourself have reset as well. That's what Team Liquid need right now, and maybe that's what a Chronic has just given them. 2 games to Liquid and 3 to Hogan mode. We begin.
The beauty of this as well, is firstly that goal with the double dunk from Atto in 5 seconds. He cheats off the kickoff, sees Growly doesn't have it, has the one shot, goes in for that second. Great movement from him. I was going to say the beauty of it is that if Hogan mode win, we're like, oh my word, they called a timeout after they won and then they won the actual series. And if they lose, that's also a bit funny. There's also then the part of it where it's like, that is also a little bit funny.
And I'll tell you what else is funny. It will then go to Game 7, and guess who'd like a tactical timeout then, Stumpy Goblin? Because it ain't Team Liquid.
So I think about thinking, probably should have waited, lads.
Bro, we shouldn't have called it.
We called a timeout, bro. We called a timeout, bro, because it was funny, bro.
I wasn't saying TO for timeout. I was talking to the tournament organisers, bro. This is unfair.
Bro.
Oh, bro!
It's long. It's not quite in, though, and Rezi can tip it just above that crossbar. Good opportunities. Starting to rise for Liquid again, and this is where you need to shut them down. You need to shut out any hope that Hogan mode are feeling at the moment, because with that series lead, they are absolutely on a run.
Need to take away all their Hogium. That pinch is good for them. Oski, how is this touch going to be read by Growly? It's good from Growly as well. Anyone helping him out? Not quite. A Chronic. They'll just take a touch in the air. All these players desperate not to make mistakes at this point. It's been a long old day of Rocket League, Stumpy. I think everyone's exhausted. The temperatures are higher. All of that will come into play. People will be warm in their bedrooms. This is battling on your last legs right now for all of these players.
Chronic trying to challenge Growly over towards that near post. Growly, they're getting two, but Atto to that side wall, and the immediate control from him can't get over the top of Rezi, who is just too tall on that occasion. Oski missing out on one shot. Scrub with a long one, but Chronic easily saving it away into the corner towards Atto again. Opportunities seems to be the main word of this series, and the main word of this game at least, but nothing has been able to find its way in just yet for Hogan Mode, and it's just that one. Rezi breaking the rule 2. The cowardice from him showing through.
I love it, mate. I'll be the bad guy there.
Play the part. Play the part.
No, I don't respect the part. I'd rather play Rocket League. I'm a Rezi of myself. And Rezi, to be fair, is making a huge nuisance of himself throughout. He's always going for bumps and demos, sweeping the path of players in blue as he goes forward, but his team is still behind. It could be doubled up now until there is Rezi. As I talk about him, Growly gets the demo. Can Rezi win this race via Chronic? I think Rezi got a little bit attached to the play because he was never winning that one.
There's a load of kids in the chat who played from 2019 and they reckon it's Rule 1. Grow up, it's Rule 2. I've argued with 14,000 people at Worlds about this. I am not scared of any of you. Halfway through the game, Cole, Hogan Mode. They are trying to push to get that one goal back, and it is starting to feel like that is a possibility. A Chronic shanking that shot wide to the right.
Here's Rezi into the center, wants to tip it over the top of Oski, can't quite do it. Scrub Killer, he's high. So just waiting on the backboard, he's bypassed. Growly has a chance to shoot this into the top corner, just the wrong side of the post. The pass comes back to him, but he couldn't recover in time. And Team Liquid, thankfully for them, can carry on down the other end.
Saving their stars on that chance. Oski trying to whip in for that opportunity. Rezi with a nice pre-jump can just cover as much of the goal as possible. High or low, and he's good. Rezi now again getting that pinch, and what a player he has been in this series so far. Growly to the ceiling. Atto with a demo. That is open. That is 2 for Liquid. What a play from the boys.
I remember doing this training pack in 2015. Ready? Ready? Oh.
Safe, innit?
Yeah.
That's a safe shot.
Yes, it is. You can't blame him.
No, absolutely.
People are this exhausted. Just put it in safely. Do you remember Turbo Pulse's double tap? When he just hit it with his belly, followed it up.
I do. Oh, that was great. What a double tap.
That was great. All right, 90 seconds left. Hogan Mo going to keep on coming, but Team Liquid, they've really stamped their authority on this game right here. It's truly professional from them. I'm so impressed.
Liquid need to just hold on to this 2 or make it 3, make it more unattainable. Growly gets caught out on that chance by Atto, who then follows up from that backboard and then continues down that right-hand wing. Oski tries to be a bit too fancy on the sidewalk, gets completely beaten out by Growly. And now a Chronic with one send long, no boost, finds Oski, who's relatively low himself. With a minute remaining, it's still that Liquid lead, and no real chance they've shown themselves for Hogan Mode so far. Just 4 shots in total this game.
There's a Chronic, can't quite get the shot, but Oski is a recipient. Growly up against him. One's high, and Rezi's following it up. Rezi needs to make something happen from Hogan Mode. He has looked the most likely since switching his car, actually. Oh, but it doesn't matter when Atto's coming in. He just gets the pinch. It's looking easy for Team Liquid.
His car is twice as wide as anybody else's. He goes round for the dish, fakes out Scrub for it as well, and then gets the dunk on Growly. Beautiful play from Atto. The genius to fake it. 42 seconds. Hogan Mode potentially moves that game out of arm's reach by these Liquid goals that have found their way in. And as we go into Game 7, who would want a timeout cool Cole, and who used it after a game win?
The answer to both,
which I still love and respect, by the way,
is Hogan Mode. They're going to have to roll straight into a Game 7 after losing by 3-0, maybe give or take 1, depending on what happens in the next 15 seconds. And that's a real tough position because they have less experience in these situations. They're less good, ultimately, than Team Liquid. They have the pressure of trying to fight for a major spot when Team Liquid have already made it. Suddenly, everything, including that 4th goal, goes against Hogan Mode, and Team Liquid have it all in their hands.
Moist esports fans and the Moist players themselves and everybody at Moist HQ right now, hold your seats tightly. If Liquid win, Moist make major. If Hogan Mode win, then Moist has still got a good chance. But Hogan Mode are still pushing forward toward that grand final. Game 7, Liquid Hogan Mode. And as we said, a timeout would be invaluable right now for Hogan Mode, but they've used it after their win, and they have now just suffered the biggest loss of the series.
They were, to be fair to them, ready to just get on with Game 7 right there. The ball fell to a Hogan Mode player after 0 seconds, and I hoped for their sake they'd go with the Rule 1, try and keep the ball up for as long as they possibly could, but instead they broke Rule 1 and just slammed it down as quickly as they could. So they are prepared for Champions Field.
I would also say, any Carmine Corp fans who are currently in chat, I think you should listen to me right now. Are you listening? Are you listening, Carmine Corp fans?
It's me, a Carmine Corp fan. I'm listening.
If Hogan Mode win, Carmine Corp clinch World's main event. They will not be going through to the wildcard. They will skip it straight to main event. That is how many points they will have locked in. If you're a Carmine Corp fan, you're pulling for Hogan Mode. If you're a Moist fan, you are pulling for Liquid. And if you're anywhere in between, you are just hoping for some more brilliant Rocket League.
Yeah, I think most of us watching this right now are just hoping this goes all the way. It goes to overtime. We see some slamming goals. We see some demos and frustrated players here. We see them all dig as deep as they can possibly dig in this Game 7. As a recap, Hogan Mode took their tactical timeout before Game 6, despite winning Game 5, and now they have to suffer the consequences of rolling straight into Game 7. Can they step up, or will Team Liquid's superiority finally show on the map that matters most?
Champions Field has a different kind of pressure, and Liquid have been here before. A Chronic in 5 secures the first.
There it is. It's that simple when you're on top. Atto from the kickoff. They scored a kickoff goal in the last game on Neo Tokyo. Not a bad time to get a second one right there. Team Liquid with all the initiative.
It's a great kickoff from them too. I think the word we use for Liquid so far is professional. They've been so professional throughout this series so far. Atto bumping Growly out the way, but with Rezi progressing down the pitch and stealing that back corner boost. It leaves Liquid a little bit with their trousers down, with one up in scrub. The shot on target, Atto with a beautiful pinch towards that sky.
He's done some serious work defensively, has Atto, normally known as an attacking powerhouse, but the man has had some saves to make from this Hogan Mode attack. He's trying to chase his own ball, but no boost at all. He's just trying to put off Hogan Mode as he goes. He does do some good work. A Chronic, he's there. Is coming in up against Oski. Hogan Mode first need to get this ball out of their half. Remember, Stumpy, they are battling to win this competition and make the major.
Almost a minute has elapsed, and Growly finds himself in the graveyard with Rezi bumping Oski on the air dribble. Chronic has to go high, immediately challenged by Growly. Ball carried over the top of him, and Atto removing Rezi. Now it's just Scrub on the back. Atto's lurking, but Scrub manages to escape him and get that save away. I feel we're going to be seeing a lot more bumps and demos now because Liquid want to rock the Hogan Mode foundations.
As for Hogan Mode, they're getting pretty desperate, especially when Atto has a double tap opportunity. The defender did just enough just to force the angle away from the goal. And Scrub Killer can dribble it away, but it's all Team Liquid right now. Hogan Mode could barely get a touch of the ball, and when they do, it's Atto. He's in full chase mode. He's one of the most demo-hungry players in this entire competition. But the pinch from Hogan Mode could open Team Liquid up.
This isn't just a high-pressure situation when you look at what is on stake here for Hogan Mode and for Liquid, but this is also the first ever RLCS Game 7 for Growly and Rezi. They have not been in this situation before, and they are thriving. Rezi manages to secure a goal on the map that matters most.
That's utterly amazing. You think of Team Liquid, they're known as an icy team, the sort that love situations like this. Rezi and Growly have never been here. The first one for Scrub since the 21-22 full major in December 2021. This is essentially brand new territory. Years. And here they fight, continue to scrap on. Achronic's missed that one. Atto's there. Is there going to be a follow-up in Hogan Mode? It's Scrub Killer, but it's sent to the side. Liquid with just about enough defense.
Atto manages to dribble it in the midfield, but with no boost, he just has to try and fake out Rezi. Doesn't manage to do so. Works his way around, passes back towards Oski, who receives that ball fantastically well. Rezi not with that second touch. Atto continues down the pitch, dangerous on the right wing. Pass the ball from Growly towards Scrub Killer, with Scrub going for one air dribble, in fact loses the ball, flicks it over towards Growly. Oski with a mind-bendingly confident redirect to his own backboard. Atto for the 1, the 2, the third finds Growly on the goal line.
I'm just wondering which Hogan mode player is the one that steps up and claims himself to be him. We've definitely got Atto on Team Liquid. Keep your eye on him. Who's going to be for Hogan mode?
I think Rezi.
Scrub Killer there. He waited back. Chronic's coming forward. Scrub Killer did enough to send him to the side. There's Rezi up against Oski. Scrub, more good work on the back wall. Rezi flicks it over the top of Atto. Chronic's coming forward again. Every time Team Liquid come forward, they look so dangerous. These clearances from Hogan mode like gold dust. Chronic, what do? You pass? You do towards Atto. He's looked most likely, might be about to put Hogan mode away. And yes, he is.
That is such a horrible place to pass that ball as well from Atto, because where does that go? Scrub has to read it directly down. Just misread it by a pixel. Atto banks on that, taps it in under 2 minutes, Liquid lead.
Was never going to be simple for Team Liquid. Can they see it away? They've done so much good work up to this point. Atto's still on the boost as well. Another dangerous kickoff for Team Liquid. Growly gets a touch, and Rezi prods it forward. Oski's back off just above his own goal. The scariest part to the center. Here's Rezi!
Oh!
And it actually sneaks in!
The newbies, the Champions Field, step up. Scrub, Growly, Rezi, goal.
Wow. The P-roller, it was mentioned earlier that as other players' predictive saves get better and better, faking them out by keeping it low is becoming more impactful. And it puts us once again on parity. Growly's to the right of Rezi. Growly's already up, but it was saved by Team Liquid. Falls the Scrub Killer to the ceiling. Anyone there for Hogan mode? Not this time. A Chronic gets it as far as Scrub Killer. Hogan mode has stepped up the pace right now. They're having a little bit of a wave of momentum. They have to keep it going and have to avoid moments like this from Team Liquid. Here's a Chronic. He could sink it, but it's blocked away.
Great pinch high as well. The defense needed to get that high, keep it awkward for any attacking player. Oski towards the ceiling, sees Atto central, replaced by a Chronic on that chance. The 1-2 removed from the play entirely. That bounces so awkwardly. And Liquid, they can continue this push. The final minute ticks down. The banners in the stands are looking down to see who comes out victorious.
Team Liquid are pulling apart the Hogan mode defense like a Stretch Armstrong, just pulling it until it looks like it's going to snap, but somehow on it holds. The Chronic sends it long. How many awkward angles can he force? Nothing too difficult for Rezi. 45 seconds left. He wants to get the pinch. He does get the pinch. Atto is almost caught out.
Good lord.
Touch isn't perfect either. Scrub rolls one up. Growly has the pass, but the shot isn't ideal. Growly's following up. Growly's there! Growly prods it home. Hogan mode have the lead.
Growly, goal! What a play from him! The double commit on the defense. A Chronic taps it lightly central. The right-hand side is open. The final 35 seconds. It is Liquid's to chase.
This could be one of the RLCS upsets of all time. Team Liquid are trying to ensure it doesn't happen. Another kickoff goes their way. How's the backball defense? It's flawless that time from Growly. He sends it across, follows it up as well. A Chronic is up. Can he make something happen for Team Liquid?
The one caught out from Rezi, that sidewall found by Atto. Oski's bumping, Atto's low, Atto dribbles, but Growly again saves away.
Here's Growly. How's your touch, mate? How's your composure?
10 seconds.
How much are your hands shaking? Rezi's still forcing pinches. Hogan mode don't care. They don't respect Team Liquid. They don't respect Game 7. They believe in themselves more than anything, but here's Atto. His touch is heavy. He's gonna hit the floor. Hogan mode, unbelievably, are gonna take Game 7. Scrub Killer's back.